4 years ago, what I did was I checked other brands and I could see that they posted, if consistently, once a week. And then we came and we started posting 3 times daily. Customers will go to who they remember. Who they remember may not be the best, but who they remember is the best at that time. I used to post my business 3 times a day. On average, now our target is 10 times daily.
What?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Just Start podcast. If this is the first time that you're watching this, I want you to stand up, put your hands together for yourself. Welcome to the community. This is exciting. I really love to have you. I really love to have you here with me. I love the fact that you took out time from your busy schedule to sit down and digest these insights with me and with our guests, right? And if you have friends that are not yet watching this, share this with them right away. Get them to subscribe, get them to like, get them to share. Let's build a full community out of this. And I'd really love to know where you're joining us from, where you're watching from, where you're listening from. And if there are any insights or any questions or something that just pops into your mind and you're like, that's deep. Just leave it in the comment section right there. Okay. All right. Welcome once again. Today, I have will I call it a culinary adventure? Or something great for your taste buds, even though you'll be hearing it. Well, my guest today is someone whose name is very synonymous with the food space in Jos City. And I am sure that if you love shawarmas a lot, especially if you love shawarmas a lot, you will know this person, you will know this brand. It's none other than Timbyen Amos Dashe, the founder of Tad's Kitchen. It's exciting to have you today, ma'am.
I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. I think that anybody, like I said in the introduction, that loves good food and especially loves shawarmas, there's no way you can miss Tad's Kitchen in the city of Jos. When my wife joined me in Jos after we got married, and she was like, okay, we need to. This was some years ago. And we're looking for places to go to get shawarmas because I'm not. I mean, I do buy them, but I think she loves them
more.
She loves them more, right? So then I remember that I stumbled on a list on Twitter. This was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. Someone on a tweet on Twitter, on a list on Twitter, and and one of the names on the list was Tad's Kitchen, and then I remember, I've passed this place a few times, so let's even go and try it. And it was actually really good. That time we used to live closer to where the kitchen is. We moved a little bit away from there now, so it's a bit of a journey to go all the way there now. But that just goes to show that from all these years, Tad's Kitchen has still been there. Give us a little background because I don't think you studied anything food related.
Never.
So let's take us on a journey on how Tad's Kitchen came to be.
So let's start with my grandfather.
Oh, okay. I love this.
My late paternal grandfather used to always tell me a story of when I was 2.
Mhm.
2, could barely speak. And then he would just like tease me whenever we go to the village. And then on one of these days when he was teasing me, he was like, oh, Timbyen, between you and your mother, who is the better cook? And 2-year-old me said I was the better cook. So he would always tell me this story over and over and over again. Definitely, I could not cook at 2. I didn't know anything that had to do with cooking at 2. But this is like 30 years after that. And I can boldly say I'm a better cook than my mom. So my grandfather, before he passed, would always go back to that story and say, this little child, when I asked her when she was 2, said she was a better cook than her mother. And now, not only is she a better cook, she's
built a
running
business out of it.
a business out of it.
Wow.
So that's like the origin story. Thankfully, not a villain story. And then I started my business officially in 2014. Before that, I had my background in journalism. I always used to feel like this was going to be my life. I'd be in a studio, I'd maybe probably be in your seats, and I don't envy you right now. I do not want to be in that seat. So I really thought that this was going to be my life. TV, radio. And then as much as I loved cooking, I felt like even if I was going to be on TV and I was not going to be like hosting a show, it was going to be hosting a cooking show. So this is all to say that in every aspect of my life, I had always known that I loved cooking. I have always, always loved cooking. I'm one of those kids that started to cook pretty early. And thankfully, I had a family that supported me. So whatever the rubbish was that I
eat it with
cooked, they
love.
would eat it with so much love. So much love. And if they would go behind my back to throw it, I don't forgive them for it right now, but they ate with so much love. So when I started to work, my last job was with a bank, and I lasted only a year. Like, I was so frustrated. And while I was in the bank, we had this beautiful culture with my other colleagues where we took turns in cooking for the group. And I always looked forward to my turn. I always would go on YouTube, like, what can I recreate? What can I cook and give these people? Like, that became the highlight of my banking
Your
job.
banking job. Wow.
Yes, that became my highlight. Like, the only reason why I'd look forward to going to work was to try what others had cooked and then think of what I would cook and bring. So from then, colleagues started to ask me, oh, can you make a bowl of soup? Can you make this for me in a bowl? This thing that you made, can you, like, what if I want it for like 10, 15 people? And then I was like, oh, okay, this job is about to break me. But since it seems like people really love my cooking, why not I make this into a business? And then around that period in Abuja, it had become popular for caterers to make bowls of soups and stews. It was really new and popular around that period. So I started to make like 1 liter bowls of soups for my colleagues. And then a few months down the line, I resigned and started Tat's Kitchen officially. I think that was in March of 2014 or 15. I can't remember.
The Tad's Kitchen is about 10, 11 years now.
Yes, 11 actually.
Wow.
11 years.
Wow. That's so you talked about starting off in Abuja.
Yes.
At what point did you move to Jos and why?
I moved to Jos. It's such a blur now. I've been in Jos for so long. I think I was in Jos for like 2 or 3 years before we opened our physical location. So that location is about 4 years now. So add 2 or 3 years to that, that's like 7 years. Let's just leave it at 7 years. I moved to Jos because I had hope in Jos. First. Secondly, I used to be one of those people who was in Abuja and criticizing how things are done in Jos, right? So I'd be like, oh, the civil service mentality in Jos. Why don't our people think outside the box? There are so many opportunities in Jos. Why don't you do this or that? Like, I was one of those keypad warriors.
Keypad warriors.
So,
I mean, you still are.
please put me inside pots that has cover. So, then it just clicked. Like, an opportunity came to run a kitchen for another business, but the kitchen was just going to be my own business. And then I spoke to my mom about it. I was 25 at the time. Oh, okay, so I can calculate the timeline from there, or whoever is listening can calculate it. I moved to Jos at 25. I am currently 32. I'll be 33 in July.
Okay.
So roughly 7, 8 years. So I spoke to my mom about it, and then backstory again. I always used to tell my mom that at 25 I would leave her house. And the typical plateau mom that my mother is will be like, God forbid. The only reason why you leave my house is to your husband's house. I'm like, no, I'll leave your house at 25. And thankfully, I left her house at 25 with her blessing.
Wow.
So when the opportunity came, I discussed it with her. I was like, I've been running this business in Abuja, and sincerely, it will cost us more. At this point, I had already scouted for a location in Abuja. The least I was getting for ground rent for a good location was ₦1 million
Back then.
back then. And for just ground rent. And if you live in Abuja or know Abuja, Abuja is notorious for what do they call them? Abuja Environmental Protection Board or something like that.
Okay.
Those people can just up and demolish your business at any given time. So imagine that you're paying ₦1 million. The landlord is telling you that, oh, they have the license to run this thing that you want to do. And then immediately you run it, these people will just come and demolish your business. So that was one thing that Abuja was notorious for that period. So if you wanted a good location, it was going to cost you like the ground rent, ₦1 million. And then if you wanted to put a container, maybe probably another ₦1 million or two. And then to stock it up. So the cost was outrageous for me. And then there was this opportunity in Jos. So for these 3 reasons, the cost of running a business in Abuja was too high for me. I had criticized Jos and I was stubborn enough to be like, you know what, let me go and see what's there. Let me go and see if the things that I think can be done, I'll be able to do it. And then the third reason is I had so much hope. I had so much trust in Jos. I had so much belief in Jos. So that's why I moved to Jos from Abuja.
Amazing. Now, in all these years, being back in Jos, okay, maybe I should rephrase it this way. When you then moved in here,
Yeah.
what was it like getting that particular space that you are now? Of course, you said you started from
with a partnership. Yes.
When you came in, you started with the partnership. Then you began to run on your own for a bit before you opened this place.
Yes.
So, how did you get this particular place? What was like? Why did you choose this location?
See, I don't want to be in Nigeria, right? But I am. So you should know the next response I'm going to give. Now, God. Because on this day, I was on my way to go visit my mom in Abuja. I think I either Blue Wheels or I can't remember the transport company I took. But for some weird reason, they came and they parked right at Miango Junction. And around that period, I was already considering some space in Old Airport. And because I shared it with someone, they basically shat on it. And I can be quite impressionable. Like you can influence me easily. So because they shat on that idea, I just let it go. Then this car parked right there. And I'm always on my phone. But then I looked up and then I was like, wait, I love plants. I love nature. This is a garden. This location is central. There doesn't seem to be like a shawarma place around there. I was just drawn to the location basically. So because I was already on my way to Abuja, first thing I did this time around was to share it with my mother. And she was the only one I shared it with. I told her I had seen this space on my way to Abuja. And I feel like that space is the space that is going to work for me. So when I got back from Abuja, I went to check the space out. I just called a friend. Didn't tell her what I was going to do or where I was going to. I just told her, come and see me. Like, come escort me to this place. And then we got there. Thankfully, I met the caretaker of the garden. And I told him what I wanted. And then he was like, oh, there's already a restaurant running somewhere around here. And I was like, okay, I'm not running a conventional restaurant. This is what I want to sell. So he was like, okay, I'll think about it. So we exchanged numbers. And a week or so later, he called me. And immediately he called me. I knew that I was going to get the location. Because if he hadn't, I would have known that it was a dead end. But because he called me back, I knew that I was going to get the location. And thankfully, I did. And I got that location for not even up to 10% of what I would have gotten a ground rent
Whoa.
in Abuja.
Whoa.
In fact, when I got the location, I made the container. I bought I think for the start we had just one cooker or two. I bought all of that, gas cylinder, pans, and everything.
For
And
under.
I didn't spend up to 500,000 naira. Yes. Yes. I didn't spend up to
Whoa.
500,000 naira. And for ground rent alone, I
Was
was going
gonna
to
be a
spend 1
million naira.
million in Abuja.
Wow.
So that's how the location in Miango Junction came
Yeah.
about. And even when that location came about, like people still were telling me, why Miango Junction? This place does not seem like a good place for your business. Go to Rayfield. And I'm like, so if all of us go to Rayfield,
Yeah, actually. And in truth, I think for a really long while, on that area,
yeah,
Tads was like the only one on that route for
yeah,
a really long
long
time.
time, yeah. So from British down to Bukuru, there wasn't a shawarma place.
Yeah, because yes, once you leave British, the guys at British all the way.
Yes, there wasn't one.
Yeah, and even if you, and then so he began to serve even the guys on the Miango Kufang state locals, federal locals area, because most of
Yes.
the people who are on that route, I'm seeing it in my head right now,
Yes.
came in much later.
Yeah. Much later.
Much later.
And all of us are in business.
Everybody's in business.
Everybody getting customer.
Everybody getting customer. Now, speaking of everybody getting customers,
Yeah.
so how did you then break into getting customers? Right. Because now you're new
Yeah.
in a sense, set up a place. Of course, it's a very strategic location.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one thing for me to see somewhere and say, okay, this okay, they're selling food here. Then I think to say, I like to try it, and then to now be a loyal customer.
Yeah.
So how did you go from first getting clients or customers to then having a loyal, customer base?
So I am an advocate for using social media for social good. Whenever I'm asked to describe myself, that would always be there. Social media. I harnessed it, I milked it, I squeezed the juice from it to the best of my ability. So we launched the physical location on the 17th of December 2020. But we began publicity for Tat's Kitchen, the physical location, probably in July or June of 2020.
Of that same year?
Yes.
When you hadn't even opened the physical
When
location?
I hadn't even paid the rent for the location yet.
Wow.
So I put up a team of about a team of amazing people that I feel like I owe them everything. I think we're probably about 50 or so in that group. And I just told them, first things first, I didn't just add them. They didn't just wake up and see themselves in the WhatsApp group. I had small sense to write them a message telling them about my plans. Like, oh, okay, I intend to do this for my business. I've been running this business from home. This is what you guys know me for. Because after I left that location in Rayfield where I did the partnership, I started to cook like on my own, and then I became popular for making leaf moi moi. So I was like, oh, okay, you guys have known me. Yes, you guys have known me for making leaf moi moi. I would like to get a physical location, and the trajectory would change, but I need your help. I need you to come on a group and we'll do publicity for this business together. If you agree, I'll add you to the group. I don't think anybody did not agree.
Wow.
So we were put in this group, and then we started to drop like teasers. So today we'll drop just a picture of the logo. Tomorrow, everybody would drop, what do you know Timbyen Amos Dashe for? The day after that, or at this point, we're doing weekly publicity for the business. But every week, everybody that could see our post knew that Tat's Kitchen was cooking something.
Yeah.
What they didn't know. So there was this air of what's the word I'm looking for? Curiosity. We planted curiosity in the minds of people, and then people were now asking like, what is it that Task Kitchen wants to do? Like, people should just get it done with already. So we already had people talking about us, expecting what we were cooking.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, because we have planted it, I had no option but to do it.
Of course. You've made so much noise.
I had no option but to do it. So eventually we launched in December. And that launch, Jesus Christ, I cried that day. I cried so much, because if there's one thing the Just community would do for you, is support you. They would
that one.
They
I
would
agree.
choke you with
With
support.
love.
They would choke you. I wept that day. From people just coming to say, you know what, I'm not a shawarma person, but take this 5K. Take this hug. You know what? I don't eat shawarmas, but I brought this person. They love it so much. The support was massive. And then because we had already, so you said how we got it, and then how we are able to maintain our loyal customer base.
Yes.
Quality. One thing I knew that I wasn't going to play with was the quality of the product. So when we started with just shawarmas. And down the line, I knew that we had to have a standard measurement for everything.
Yes.
That if ever the taste of our product was going to change, it was not going to be our fault. It was going to be as a result of probably the mayonnaise we use. The company has changed quality. And that has happened severally. The ketchup we use, the company has changed quality. The spices we use, probably the brand that we use, isn't producing anymore or changed quality. So that has been the issue. Or maybe the chicken we use for shawarma, it isn't old enough. You know, sometimes farmers will tell you like 6-week-old birds, and they aren't tasty, sincerely. But sometimes you have no option but to buy that. So basically, we just ensured that the quality, you know, that for each okay, so I think I was telling you earlier, we have like a quantity that we cook at once. It cannot be more, it cannot be less. So even if you need to do that quantity 50 times in a day, you will do that quantity, only eat at a time.
Wow.
Only that quantity at a time. So that's one of the ways we've been able to maintain our customer base, because one thing, like when we started, it was like, oh, okay, if it's so one customer said, if it's quality you want, go to Tad's Kitchen. If it's quantity, I can't remember how they put it, but basically that has stuck. And when we started, our price was like 1,000 naira for a wrap. Currently, we sell the size that we sold at 1,000 naira for 5,500 naira. And we still have customers that bought it at 1,000 naira, still buying it at 5,500. And then we're open to feedback. So because it's human beings that make these things, sometimes you give room for human error.
Yes.
So if, as much as there's a standard for how we want everything made, if human error happens, it will affect the taste.
Yes.
And if a customer complains, any customer that gives you constructive feedback is a customer that wants you to grow. Because with constructive feedback, when I say constructive feedback, I'm saying, oh, this, it wasn't cooked, it wasn't this. Like, you know exactly, you're stating exactly what was wrong. Right? And then it's now left for the brand to know how to do it better. So any customer that gives you constructive feedback is a customer that will help your business grow.
Yes.
But that's basically, that has just been our saving grace. Feedback will come sometimes and I'm like, Kuku, kill me now. Kuku, kill me. What do you want me to do? But as much as that feedback may hurt me, one thing is that either from a place of ego or from a place of wanting to do better, whatever it is, you do not want to have that experience again.
Yes.
So you're going to be on your toes to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Will it not happen again? It will, because like I said, it's human beings that are running the supply chain and the production chain. But at least you're mitigating it. And the customers are saying that, oh, because I complained to you, you did something about it. So I'll give you a try again.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that has just been it for us. And then I must mention, we remained very, very consistent on social media. From 4 years ago, what I did was I checked other brands and like other restaurants basically. And I could see that they posted maybe if consistently once a week.
Mhm.
And then we came and we started posting 3 times daily.
3 times daily
Yes. We posted 3 times daily.
or more.
So 3 times daily on the business page and then 3 times daily
On
on
your
my
personal
page.
page.
So at the time, that was like 6 posts. If you're not meeting my own post, you're meeting the business
Yeah.
pages post. And then everywhere I'd go, I'd always hear, Tad, you're always disturbing us. And I'm like, if I don't disturb you, how will you know about my business? So I go out and I meet people who have never patronized my business, but know about my business.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm in their
Because you're in
faces.
yes.
And that's really all I want. That's really all I want. I want to be able to give my customers quality. But I tell people that I'm really close to that. I'm not really in this business to give you the best. Don't confuse it though. I want to give you great quality. But I am not here to take the crown for the best. Anybody can be the best at any time.
Yes.
My priority is to be top of mind. My priority is that when you want food in Jos, eventually, when you're asked to give a list, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
my business should be mentioned there.
Yeah.
And on that list, my priority is to be either number 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Coca-Cola isn't the best
Yeah.
soda company.
Yeah, I was about to just mention them and even McDonald's. That's
McDonald's
exactly
isn't
the
the
same
best.
thing. They're saying, not like we're trying, even Domino's, they're not saying we want to be the best at this. We're just going to give it to you fastest. We're just going to give you, we make sure that you get it in the fastest time, convenience, all of that. So everybody knows their promise and how they're delivering their service to
Yeah.
their audience.
So that's just it for me. That's sincerely just it for me.
Great. Now, in doing this, I always ask about things like building a team and staffing because it's also critical. You don't do everything. Of course, you don't cook, you do posting, everything by yourself. So you have people. How have you been able to get the crop of people that buy into your vision and are sincere enough to stick with this quantity that you even talked about? Because I mean, if I'm seeing a lot of customers coming today, I can as well just do three times that quantity. I know that let me reduce the work from from my shoulders. So getting the right staff and building a team. Tell us how you've been able to work around it.
So I have done business for 11 years. And I launched our physical location 4 years ago. So it means that for the years before that, I had been running business on my own. And because I had been running it on my own, where did the business go? Nowhere really. I couldn't tell where my finances, I couldn't tell where the profit was going. Nothing. I had nothing to show for it. But the moment I decided that I was going to have a physical location, I knew I could not do it alone. And I knew that I had to do it with a team immediately. So first thing I did was go to the University of YouTube to find out what the best practice for getting the best team was. So I did a lot of learning, like the employment process, the recruitment process, the onboarding process, my finances, how to separate this from that, and all of that. So one thing I learned was make the process of great quality. Simplify it, but make it of great quality. So I put out an advertorial. I said that I was looking for a kitchen assistant or for kitchen assistants. And the criteria was you'd write me a cover letter stating why you wanted the job. It was that simple. And that has been the only thing that works for me till date. Because I can tell a lot about a person
From the way they write.
from the way you write. I can tell a
I'm about
lot.
to ask you a question, but let's just maybe when we're done, I'll ask you.
Okay. So I can tell a lot from the way you write. And then the letter started to come in. And then I could see the thought process behind the person that was writing. I could see the person that put in effort. I could see, in fact, recently I got a cover letter that stated, it was like 3 lines. This is something for the job opening, something, consider me. That was all. And whereas I had other people with like writing a proper cover letter. So I just knew that whoever could take out the time to know what a proper cover letter should look like, and would write it in detail, I could see what their mind could conjure up. I could see their person. I could like pinpoint and be like, oh, okay, this person pays attention to detail. So because you pay attention to detail and you did this thing the right way, I'd write you an invitation for an interview. So after the cover letter, I ensure that there always is an interview process. So you come for the interview. My priority has always been, you have to be better than me. So I am someone that is classified to have a resting beach face. I don't know if you know what that means. I've learned to smile more in Jos. If not, like my face is just always static. You can't tell what is happening around me. I could be happy, I could be thrilled, but resting beach face. So it's just, I knew that I didn't want somebody that, I needed somebody that could smile naturally.
Yeah.
Right? So when you come for the interview, as much as you're tensed, or I'll try my best not to make you tense though, but as much as it's an interview, are you smiling at me? Are you comfortable? What's your body language? From there, I would know the quality of person again that I'm looking for. So I have judged you by the cover letter. Then I've had to interact with you through the interview. And then I ask a series of questions, not really necessarily around the job, because I'm not particular about skill. I'm particular about character. Right? It's the character that is the cocoa. The skill, so long as I tell you that, oh, add this, add that, and there's supervision. If I see that you can add it and it comes out well, anybody can do that. But the character, are you of better character than me? Do you know math better than me? Do you, like, those kinds of things?
Yeah.
So from the interview process, I'm able to tell that. And thankfully, I'm a good judge of character. And I've never, I think in the history, in our 4-year history, I've only had one staff that stole from the business and did a lot of questionable things. And let me tell you what, from the interview process, I didn't completely agree with his person. But I was like, you can't be too rigid all the time. You can't be too particular all the time. Sometimes give people benefit of doubt. You know what this person would do? So you ask something, because I stated earlier that we have these particular measurements that we have. It's my responsibility as the business owner now to sit down and be like, oh, okay, how many portions of how much shawarmas can this give us? So at the back end, we know.
You know what's happening.
You don't have to know. And that's how we know what you're doing. And if you're doing what you're doing well or not. So we just noticed that every time that this person made this, or this quantity of meat was given to him, it wasn't adding up. So we put in mystery shopping in place. I'll give someone money, go and buy, pay with cash. Now we have processes that other businesses do not have. You can't come to the kitchen and place an order and my staff do not ask you, please sir, what's your name? How would you be paying? You understand? Because there's a docket where we write it. So Mr. Timothy came. He ordered for a regular shawarma with sausage. He paid cash. He paid with POS. He made a transfer. So if they are transferring, they know, customers already know that Tats Kitchen, we had a company account from day one. So they will transfer to the company account. So a staff cannot say, oh, pay to my own account.
Yes.
POS, you do not have your own POS. But cash, that was where the loophole was. So I would give the mystery shopper cash and they would go buy the shawarma. And probably I may send like 3 of them in one day. And he may record just one.
Wow.
And leave out 2. So that was what he was doing. But because there was a process, we could tell because we understood how much we were supposed to be getting.
Yes.
We could tell. And when we confronted him, he was like, yeah, he has been stealing from the business. It's the devil's work. But basically, so that's just been it for me. And I'm I can't even end this without saying how super thankful I am for my team. I am super, super thankful for them because they make the work so easy. There are minimal complaints about them being rude or minimal complaints. If you hear complaints about my business, which we're currently working on, it would be that the customer called more than once and the line was not picked. And that's usually because the same person that has to do the cooking is the same person that is answering the call. So now we're trying to get someone that specifically your job description is to attend to calls. And then those that are doing the work, do the work. But they're amazing in their own way. They're human.
Yeah, of
so
course.
of course, other faults are excused, but they're amazing in their own way.
Just listening to you talk about, the experience you had with your staff and how you tackled it, just shows the importance of processes.
Yeah.
Having proper processes in place.
Yeah.
Especially in food business. I've heard people say a lot that if you are doing food business, you have to keep it at the back of you have to factor in theft.
Yeah.
Into the business that you are doing and keep theft and those kind of losses at a certain percentage.
Yeah.
If it goes beyond that percent,
that's when there's a problem.
That's where there's a problem. It's not. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
That we have to factor in
theft.
Yeah. Right from staff. But I also love the fact that you've talked about how your staff are amazing. Beyond this one case, which is not like a regular thing, most of your other staff, all of the other people on your team are doing amazing work, and ensuring that they take the burden off your shoulders. Now, what are challenges that you faced, especially apart from this one that you just mentioned, other challenges that you faced in the initial days of building TADS? And you had mentioned, I'll reference 2 different posts I saw on your page at different times. There was one time you were lamenting a lot about I think it was the people that it was one of your mayonnaise suppliers.
Yeah.
I saw the lament where you were saying these people have changed. We've had to buy so many, we've bought this amount of, and this one is not tasting like this one, and blah, 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 blah. And then I've seen at least twice you've had to handle being burgled at the location and the things, a lot of your stuff in being carted away. Those are 2, but I'd like you to talk about them in detail, and maybe even any other one that I probably missed.
All right, so let's talk about the mayo scenario first. Mayo, ketchup, major ingredients that we use for shawarma apart from the meat, and the quality has dropped drastically. And we've stuck to just one brand. The only thing that we've done outside of that one brand was try making it ourselves, and the customer could tell. So I could have been stubborn enough to improve on what we were making and have the customer get used to it.
Yeah.
That would have worked. But then on the back end, price of eggs and vegetable oil went up.
Went up.
So I cannot compare my production with the big brands,
Yes.
because they probably mill their own oil or have their own egg farm. I don't know how it works for them.
Yeah.
So doing it ourselves just proved to be way more costly. But the quality of the mayonnaise, like when I tell you that you can now buy it and tip it and it will pour out, that's how light it has become. And this is something that used to be so thick that you have to shake and shake and shake and shake and before it drops. So it's become that light. What that means is that output, if probably a jar could give us like 20, it probably is giving us like 15 now. And then the taste is no longer the same. And then you're now saddled with the responsibility of, because the customer will not say, no, the mayonnaise, it is your product
your
that does not
product.
taste like your product.
Because then again, all the flavors come together. So they don't know what is what.
It
Everything
is
are
your
just married
product.
together in your product.
It is your product. So it's now left for you to be able to pinpoint and be like, okay, so if they have reduced the quality of this thing to this point, and we are not willing to reduce the quality of our own products, what can we now tweak on top of this their own so that it will up the quality back? And then in some instances, sincerely, there's nothing you can do. So you just have to pray that the customer gets used to that quality, and, which is very annoying. So same thing for ketchup. Ketchup that we all know is thick and red, right? Dark shade of red. This same brand quality has come to an almost pink and translucent consistency.
Runny consistency.
It's runny. That's the same brand we've used from day one. And then when you now try another brand, it completely throws off the taste. So it's like it's better you continue to use the lesser quality of the particular brand that your customers know, because somehow the taste is still similar. But when you go to a different brand, it completely throws it off. Completely. So that's like for that. Then my business has been burgled like at least 5 times.
Wow.
At least 5 times. They'll cut away with the cooker, the gas cylinder. Like they cut away with whatever they can cut away with. And each time I just tell myself, people will be like, is there no security? Sometimes there is security. Like when it happens once, twice, we had to put security in place. And then after the second time, it started to happen even with the security. The last time it happened, the security person conveniently said something in the lines of, his wife fell ill that night. So that was why he did not come to work that night. So how convenient. In my own, from my own side of things, there was a security person, but he didn't come to work. And then people will be like, probably he connived, probably he was the one. I don't have energy for that. My focus would be, where can I get things to replace this so that my business can continue? Because if my business does not continue immediately, if I give room for mourning the loss, that, at most for each time that my business had been burgled, we probably would not just open for that day, for that particular day, because we do not have the tools to use to work. But if maybe I know that we have 1 or 2 things in my house that we can take and use, we will continue serving our customers. We'll just tell you that, we cannot serve you within this time frame, but probably from 2 p.m. we can start to serve. Because one thing I've realized is, if I leave room if I fester on the loss for too long, I'll become lethargic.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to do anything anymore. But I don't know where the resilience comes from. Immediately, I'm able to just, even if I am not willing to, those around me are like, okay, you know what? This has happened before and you were able to just bounce back immediately. So you can't even say that you're not willing to do it. So what can we get you? What can we do? And like I said, my team, amazing. Immediately that happens, they're just like, okay, let's be cleaning the kitchen. Opportunity for sanitation. So they're cleaning. Where are we going to get this? What can we buy? What can we do? Can we call our supplier to give us meat on credit? Can we do this, get this? And without effort from me, business continues. So that's like a major challenge, because sincerely, if there's security in the States in general, like, I wouldn't have to bother about that.
Mm.
But I guess it's one of those things. So if it's not staff theft that you have to like factor in, say that, oh, let it not pass a certain
Which
percentage,
you can even control in some sense, in some, on
is now the one
this
of,
one that, and then you put security systems in place, and then things happen.
so it's sincerely crazy.
Yeah.
It's would weigh you down. It would, but
You know, this is the resilience, just following, and I also like the fact that, still going back to that social media thing you
yeah,
talked about, your brand is very active on social media.
yeah,
When anything is happening, there's communication.
yeah,
And that was how I got to know about these things. And just seeing these posts, I'm like, this person is resilient. In fact, that was actually the main reason why I said, I think I need to reach out to this person to come. Let's even have a conversation around this business that she's building.
yeah,
Because it takes a certain amount of resilience to be knocked down and then not stay down, or at least not stay down for too long.
yeah,
You look at, count your losses, and you're like, okay, what can we do right now? Because the business is the greater picture is the business. This is
exactly.
only just a temporary setback, even though it's a very expensive setback.
Setback, yeah,
Because the things that you bought that were stolen, you will not buy them at the same price you bought them before.
never,
You are buying them maybe twice the amount. Sometimes three times the amount, and you're starting from the scratch again. Things that you thought were assets that you're done with, and then maybe you're just calculating. Maybe you're just going to be calculating depreciation or whatever, right? I don't know, but you have these things down, and then you say, okay, before I'm buying this thing, maybe to take another 5 years or 3 years or 4 years, and then in the same year, you're having
have
to go
buy
back to
it.
price the same thing again.
It's draining.
It's draining.
It's distracting.
It is. Now that's the word. It's actually distracting, and it actually can take away the focus from the main thing,
Yeah.
which is the business.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. I think
Thank
that
you.
I have special respect for anybody in the food space. I have special respect for anybody in the food space because it is a lot.
It's a lot.
It is
It's
a
a lot.
lot.
One mistake and you're done.
Hmm.
One mistake and that whole batch of whatever you've made is that you accompany it with sorry, 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 sorry. Or if you're someone like me, you just have to be like, you know what? We are not going to sell this.
Yeah. And you see that we are not going to sell this is another part of the quality control system that a lot of businesses are not willing to
Yeah.
do because it's expensive.
Yeah.
If you don't sell it, that's money that's gone. Even if you end up eating it, you're not eating it with joy. Even if you end up giving it to one of your staff, you're
Yeah.
just like, okay, let this thing not waste. But you're thinking the amount of money that could have been made from this thing that has now gone because you can't sell it.
Yeah.
Now, on the wings of that is handling difficult customers or handling certain, maybe, well, on one side it's difficult customers, but on the other side it's probably difficult situations. Because sometimes maybe the customer is not difficult, but the situation
It's just difficult.
is
It's
difficult.
dicey.
Like you had mentioned, quality changing, and then somebody's like, what was this? This is like what I ordered versus what I got. This is not what we're used to getting from you, and they're making complaints. But then there's also the difficult side of things. Take us through how that works for you, or how you've been able to, I cannot say solve it because it probably
You can never
you can't solve it, but
You can
how you've been
never
able
solve
to
it.
manage it. You can share experiences that you feel comfortable with.
So I always used to tell people, I say, one day they go beat me for just like, one day they go beat me for just number one. Hey God, I am stubborn. So like having to be a stubborn person, running a business that has to do with like you're dealing with human beings all the time. Every day is you praying for grace to be like, you know what, God, please remind me that I'm a business owner. Remind me that, give me grace. Give me grace. Remind me that nobody is coming to my business intentionally just to make trouble. Get? And sincerely, that's a prayer I pray every day. Because it could be a keke person while I'm going to the business that upsets me and then I'm in a bad mood. or I get to the kitchen and I see that something has been done wrongly and I'm in a bad mood. And then you get to meet somebody, and then what if the person is having a worse day than you? Then you guys will collide. At what point are you the one that, thankfully, I'm not the one who attends to customers most of the time. It's my team, and they try their best, like I said. So I'm saying all of this, Sha, but the truth of the matter is we do not really experience bad customers or difficult customers. It's a once in a blue moon experience for my business. It's a once in a blue moon experience. Maybe, I'm sure we'll get to talk about dark mode eventually, but I would say maybe the frequency of having difficult customers now is at dark mode. But for Tad's Kitchen and Tad's Kitchen, the physical location, sincerely, it's a once in a blue moon experience. And whenever that happens, that's the mantra at the kitchen. We know that no customer intentionally wakes up from home, burns their fuel or burns transport fare just to come there to make trouble. No one in their right senses would do that. So it's now left for us to know how best to handle whatever situation, and then for me to keep my stubbornness aside, for whoever to keep their problems that they brought from home aside, and just face the customer and solve whatever we can.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even if the stubbornness plays out, like if they have to interact with me, I'm someone that would not go to bed without reflecting on my day.
Yeah.
So I know that, you know what, this person, you could have handled this better. So I'm able to reach out to you tomorrow to tell you, oh, sorry, but can we do this to mitigate what happened yesterday?
Yeah.
Sorry for the experience. Or when I see you the next time, I'm able to, or if I don't see you, I'm able to give word to the team that, you know what, we could have handled this better. So let's do this. Let's not do this again. So difficult customers, sincerely. But one difficult experience, you see, like I said, feedback. It may not meet us as business owners at a good place all the time.
Yes.
It may not come off well all the time, but feedback is feedback, sincerely. Now, one issue that I have is people may have an experience with the brand, and for a brand that is always out there, like we're on social media, they would now not use those platforms to share their experiences. At some point, it was my staff that had to call me to order, like, oh, okay, every time someone complains, you're saying, return it, let's replace it for you. Let's replace it for you. Like, it now started to seem like people would tell their friends that, oh, these people, if you just complain small, they'll replace it for you. So they called my attention to it, like, okay, isn't there anything better we can do? Can't we offer like a discount? Can't we offer like free delivery for the next one? Like, can't we just apologize? So we started to do that. But when we now run sponsored ads, it's like there are some people that, as much as their comments, you know how human nature, you may have 10 great comments, but you just focus on the one. So 10 people will be like, oh, I've tried their products, like I've tried this, I've tried that, it's great. And then there's just one comment from a customer that is not a regular, saying that, oh, they did this and this was done, and he never complained to us as a brand. And probably this thing that you're saying is something that is a hurdle that we crossed 6 months ago. But you never said anything, and then you're bringing it 6 months down the line as though it is our current reality. As difficult as that can be sometimes, we still have to reach out to those customers and be like, oh, okay, what was your complete experience? How did it go? Like, what was the complete experience, and how can we make it better? So sincerely, as difficult as these ones are that I'm saying, we still try to get our way around it and mitigate it. Because sincerely, I tell my team, regardless of what we think or feel, we need the customer more than the customer needs us.
True.
Because look around us, there are so many other restaurants around. So it means that one customer has 10 options. But all 10 options of us are drawing from the same pool of customers. So we need the customer more than the customer needs us. So no matter how difficult, no matter let's just have that at the back of our mind that we need the customer more than the customer needs us.
Yeah, before we get on to dark mode,
Yeah.
I still want to go back to social media a little bit because I mentioned, I love how very vocal you guys are on social media, the kind of things that you people are, how you push the brand.
Yeah.
I see a challenge, especially here in Jos.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge of the fact that there are many especially businesses in the food and hospitality space.
Yeah.
They don't care about their social media. In fact, I remember visiting one last year and I had heard somebody say something good about the place, but I checked online. And now running Discover Jos gives me the opportunity to interact with a lot of people who are not based in Jos, who are visiting. So every day or every other day, I'm interacting with people who are visiting, people either coming through me for tours or just coming to town
Yeah.
for one thing or the other, but then interacting with me to say, I need recommendations on this place and that place. And sometimes you make recommendation of a place that you think is good, but because they've never been there, they try and check up on social media, check up on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. And then they come back and say, I can't find anything tangible about this place. Are they in business? Are they still in business? Because maybe the last post was like 2 years ago. And then maybe they did happy New Year post this year. And then you're just wondering what's going on. And it is very frustrating, especially because on one hand, you're trying to push this thing and all that. And then on the other hand, there are people who are saying, yeah, I get you. I hear you. I mean, I can take your recommendations from you, but at least their pages should have something
There
that
should be
show that
footprints.
there's even still that they're in business. I remember going to sit with one last year. Went to that place. I've never even eaten at that place before. I just heard somebody say something nice about this. So I went there. I asked to see the manager, sat down with her, and I said, see, this is who I am. This is what I do. Right. And I think that there's a lot you guys are sleeping on, especially with your online space.
Yeah.
Your only customers are not people who live in Jos. There are people who actually come from out of town who want to explore what the culinary and landscape in the city is. Can you do this? Do this. I'm like, see, this is just me sitting down with you and giving you strategies. Do this, do this, do this, do this. It doesn't even have to be every day. Can you post at least 3 times a week? Or at least every week? Do something that shows. The last post you did was when so and so person, I don't want to give too much detail so that people don't know.
Yeah.
But was when this person came to town, blah, blah, blah. And then after that,
Shuru.
it's just shuru. Shuru is, like quiet. For those of you who are joining us from other parts of the world, where you don't understand this, unique language.
Very special language.
But and the person was like, oh, okay, yeah. After that was in October. Up until now,
They've not made a post.
there's not much happening. I don't think they've made more than 2-3 posts between October and now. And so when the person that told me about this place says, this place, I struggle to believe them about the service that they're offering. And the truth is that if it was even an old business that I can say, okay, they already have customers, they've been here for a long time, all of that, I'll say, okay, but this is a business I don't think they're up to 2 years. And it's a challenge. Now, if you, from the experience you've had and the interactions that you have, if you were to address people in the hospitality space, I don't even want to talk about hotels because that's another ball game. Interacting with hotels and restaurants I do a lot of referrals and stuff because of the nature of what we do with Discover Just. And sometimes even a website that people can even see what does this place look like. It can't. It's just like you people. We're not living on that. We're not living in the Stone Age any longer. Please, maybe if they hear it from you, it will make more sense. Address it a little bit.
So this is something I'm actually very passionate about. And I have actually put out like programs. Like I had the 30 days business push and accountability program.
I saw that on Seller.
I had a 30 days content to sales challenge because the focus of all of this was show up more, basically. Because I know that when I meet other business people, what I hear is, how are you able to do this all the time, every day? When I started out doing it myself. But I think one thing that a lot of people are not comfortable with is using money to make money.
Mm.
In the sense that, I don't know how to say this without implicating my people in Jos. But the sincere truth is that labor is cheaper in Jos.
Mm.
In places like Lagos, a social media handler may cost like 100K, 150K.
More than that, though.
So let's just leave it
Much
at
more than
that.
that, though.
In Jos,
Even here in Joseph, I know people who
who are
charge
taking that much. But you can get like someone in uni and just tell the person, you know what, make post for me. I can give you 30K.
And then they come in like an intern.
They don't even need to come in.
Mm.
They don't even need to come in. Your own is to take pictures and send to them.
Mm-hmm.
They will schedule the posts. Life is so easy.
Mm.
But we just feel like, oh, the business isn't doing so much. So how will I now remove 30,000 and give to a student or somebody to handle that? Or 50,000 or no matter how much.
Mm.
There are people that are willing to do these jobs for. But businesses do not prioritize it. And the truth of the matter is, customers will go to who they remember.
Yes.
Like I said, who they remember may not be the best.
Mm.
But who they remember is the best at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So because you are not available at that time, why then will we go to you? Why will we go to you? I don't know. We're just so comfortable. We're so... Oh God. This table that you want me to touch. Hey, God. The truth of the matter is, whether we like it or not, we're in a digital dispensation.
We are.
If you are looking to build a business that would outlive you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has to have digital footprints.
Yeah.
Daily footprints. I am building a business that I want to outlive me.
Mm.
So, what is the culture of your business?
Mm.
If you're not a business that is seen online, you're depending on just working customers. If another COVID happens, what's in it for you? You now have to start struggling. And then when you now come and you're struggling, you're new to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy for me to now say, you know what? Lockdown, no. But we're able to bring something to you. We're able to do this for you. Like, we'll flow in easily. And they already know me. They already know Tat's Kitchen. So they're like, oh, these ones have been here now. And we've been seeing them. So then, since they are doing this for lockdown, we'll go with them. You, who are you? You, who are you? 90% of my customers are from social media. 90% of my customers, or the ones that have given me money, are from social media. Now, I am saying this because outside, there are those that are not my customers yet. Then there are those that recommend my business, refer my business, because I am always in their face. So I always wonder why other businesses do not want that as well in their business.
Because it's good visibility.
Then now let's forget that one safe. Marketing has so evolved that, and it has become so less expensive.
Mm-hmm.
When we're growing up, we will only see businesses on
TV and newspaper.
And
then radio.
Me as star of Tat's Kitchen, how much will I pay TV? And at that particular time, when was the last time you sat down to watch TV?
We have a TV in my house, but like I think we use it to do like Netflix once or twice a month. Because then again, if you want to watch, any of those other YouTube, all of that, you can just do it on your tab or your phone or something. So the TV, in fact, the TV is
plenty explanation to say.
Exactly.
You do not watch TV.
We don't watch TV. Even if you want to watch news, you can watch it on YouTube or something. Do you understand? So
How many of us actually watch the news? So if you're going to go and pay a popular TV station to run ads for you, the people who have the money to pay you as once immediately are not watching it. You are someone that is a target for my business. You're like my target customer. You do not watch TV. So why am I going to pay them to run an ad to you when you do not watch it? So I feel like a lot of businesses, first of all, we have to sit down and tell ourselves the truth. Who is your target customer? Who is your target customer? First of all, my target customer is a young man. Like, I have a customer avatar. I have two. One, a young man who has a good paying job, who loves to chill. Probably single. No, I clearly define it. He's single. He'll probably come to my business with his girlfriend because he's trying to impress her. Like, come and try their loaded fries. It's so good. I know you're going to love it. And then he would want to impress her. And then tomorrow, because she loved the loaded fries that this my target customer brought her to buy, tomorrow she'll be like, Ruth,
she calls her
Agatha,
girls too.
I tried this loaded fries.
And
so
then they all
come.
go.
My one target customer has brought me how many customers? 3. Right? Because I defined it. And this is very visible in my business. I have customers like that. My second avatar is a mother with 2 kids, works, has a good pay. Her husband is alive, also has a good pay. And she loves to treat those her children every month when salary comes in. So her children are guaranteed that at the end of every month, they're coming to Tad's Kitchen. I have customers like that, mothers who bring their kids to my business every month. Where do I find them? On social media. So of these 2 people that I have described, which one of them is sitting down to watch any popular news station? But as a mother, she's probably trying to watch reels about cooking, about cleaning, about something. She's online.
Even personal development, all of that
development.
Stuff. Yeah, and you
she's
find
online.
that mostly online.
She's on her phone. So at the moment she's on her phone, if she's on YouTube learning something, you would always want to give your brain a break. So you come back to Facebook, you come back to Instagram, and you'd scroll. And in that moment when you're scrolling, I want to just plant Tad's Kitchen in your mind. I'm not saying buy it now. I'm saying just know the brand.
Just know the brand.
Mr. Tim, there's no how that you hear Tad's Kitchen once, Tad's Kitchen 2 times, 3 times. You hear it up to 10 times, and you're not like,
who are these people safe? Where are they?
So why, as a business owner, other people do not want these questions to be asked about them? It beats me. It beats me. Like, one of the greatest things I can do for my business is for my business to remain top of mind. In these programs that I spoke about, like the 30 Days Business Coach, I don't even do them anymore, because what's the point of doing it for just the 30 days and then after the 30 days,
that's all,
you've gone back to status quo? Because what we used to do was we'd give you prompts for posts every day, and you're just supposed to tailor it for your business and make posts. And they'll give you testimonies. So they'll tell you, because of this, I got this customer that did this. Because of this, I can't tell you how many times that participants of this program will tell me that because of this post, somebody sends me so amount of money.
Wow.
And then me that is doing the program, nobody's sending me. But because you're showing up,
yes,
people are seeing you.
Yes.
Let's go back to that burglary incident. Because I have a brand that I carry my customers along. Sometimes when I say that, we couldn't get equipment, sometimes us getting the equipment is because somebody somewhere, not even in Jos, will send us money and say, you know what, buy this thing and resume work immediately.
Wow.
That's support. But that's also accountability.
Very true.
So I can't even afford to dilly-dally, because this person has already put in money in this business. I must open.
Yes.
Would they have put in money in my business? Would they have trusted my brand if I was not in their faces?
No, not at all.
So again, like you said, if you're posting once a month, twice in 6 months, where then would they get brand trust? The online space has made it so that we cannot touch and feel your product. But because we have a relationship, we banter, we see you, we're able to drop comments like, oh, you're telling us, oh, to guess something, and we're guessing. We feel like there's kinship. Somehow, I've never bought from your brand, but I'm loyal. This is officially the first time we met.
Yes.
But when we're having a conversation, I told you that it is not possible that I see a Discover Just post and I do not sit down to digest it. It is not possible. Because, like it or not, kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Like, there's that kinship already.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you weren't consistent, what's in Adwana? Sorry. What's my business?
What is my water?
What's my water? Direct translation. But sincerely, if you weren't consistent, are you the best at what you do?
I just show up.
But you show up and you're the one I know. And then the ones that probably are the best, the ones that are flying drones, doing, and they're not consistent. I'm not saying them all the time, but it's you I know. It's you I can relate with. It's the same thing for business. And then the reason why I brought the news channels, those ones are more expensive. Social media is free. Because trust me, that data that you have, you will burn it some other way.
Yes.
So it is free, left to me. If you don't use it to post your business, you will use it for something else.
Use it to watch
You will
another
use it
person's
to
business.
watch another person's business, or you watch those addictive games of arranging balls and bottles according to color. Those things eat my data. So there's a business person out there that's consuming that as well.
And then that's
So
also
what-
somebody's business.
That's also
That's also somebody's business. As you're arranging all of that, the person is cashing out. This is business. You will see some ads that will pop up. You watch them.
what
and
I
you
used to tell
cancel
people
them.
on my accountability program is, do you know that you can just write your business name, Discover Just, schedule that post without a caption 3 times a day, and you are still in someone's face.
Yes.
You're still creating brand awareness.
Yeah.
So what is the problem? Gun. I do not know. Probably, I'm not saying this as though it was easy for me. I say this all the time whenever I have an opportunity to speak about my business. When we started, Mr. Tim, I set alarm on my phone for those 3 posts that I told you that I was doing daily. I had an alarm on my phone.
Wow.
It will go off at 9 or 10 a.m. It will go off at 2, and it will go off at 4. It didn't end there. These alarms were labeled money on the table. Because I know that if I do not post at this time, I am doing what? I'm leaving money on the table. So any other business owner that is not posting, I just want them to know that they're leaving money on the table. That's the sincere truth. That's the sincere truth. And there's something about being visible. Visibility, I think business owners are confusing themselves to be content creators. So because you post your business and it has just 1 like, that's what I used to hear. I post and I get only 1 like. Sincerely, I feel Mark should remove that thing. Maybe if he removes it, if there's an option to remove it, we'll focus on what we need to focus on. Because why is it that as a business person, my priority should be that, only 1 person likes my post?
Yeah, likes and
So
follows.
one thing I always tell them is switch to professional mode. Maybe you'd see your insights and you have more sense. Because your insights will tell you that as much as only 1 person likes that post, 1,000 people saw it. And those 1,000 people, it's not showing you a name. So how do you know who that saw the post?
Yeah.
How do you know? Can you tell?
Can't tell.
I got an invitation to Just Business School. And Ezekiel Gomos is someone that I highly respect.
Yeah.
I had been posting within this period, within our first year, that I told you that my alarm would just go off 3 times a day. One day I just went to my mail and I saw a mail. Hi, Timbyen. I've been seeing you on social media. I see what you're doing. You're doing such a great job. Please go through this list of programs and select anyone to come and attend for free at Just Business School.
Oh.
I went back to my Facebook. I checked. Said, this man, somebody that in my life I never would have thought that would have interaction. I can call this man at this minute now and he would pick.
Wow.
The only reason why
Showing
social
off.
media. I was showing up,
Yeah.
and he was seeing it. And in his message, he said, "I have been seeing how you've been posting. I see what you're doing for your business."
Yeah.
Now, he had never liked my post though. If probably he had, I would have seen his name. I definitely would have seen his name. If he had ever commented, I
You would have seen
definitely
it,
would have seen his comment. Never. Not seen. Not seen. So you see, in that insight that I'm saying, apparently there was someone like this man that I highly respect.
Yeah.
I go to random places and I get recognized, and that's something I do not like, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I get recognized. Why? I'm showing up for my business. Those insights, you would see like 1,000 people have seen your post, but you do not know who the 1,000 are.
Yeah.
You just need one customer. You just need one customer like this, just one single customer. And that's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Totally. But I don't get it. I don't know. Everybody has their why. Like I said, for me, the goal is to build a transgenerational business. Probably they just want something pocket money for now. So if they're getting the pocket money for now, sincerely, we can't judge them because that's what they want. So
yeah, because I'm always very big on growth.
Yeah.
Let's grow this thing. It has potential and all that. But then, like you said, maybe if you're comfortable where you are, it's okay.
It's okay.
Right. You recently launched dark mode.
Yeah.
So I want you to just talk about the why. I know that the first day when dark mode launched, it was overwhelming for you, right? And so tell us about the why for dark mode and then how it has been so far.
I had the idea for dark mode in May of 2024, and I kept procrastinating. I kept asking why, if, whatnot, and then it was at the point that I saw that I had it was almost getting to a year, and I was like, no, to me, you can't do this. You know better than this. And so I launched skeletally. Like, we're under an umbrella. We're doing things very skeletally, but we're doing things well. We're doing things big, and we're giving quality food, and the feedback is amazing. But the downside of it is that because it's nightlife, you know how people are out at night to drink and all of that. So they may come to us tipsy, and then because they are whatever you get, they may not just be in charge of their. But funny thing is, we have a lot of families that leave their homes and come with their flasks, their containers to get food as well. So for me, it was that, those that go out to chill at night, I'm providing food for them. They were my target customer, if I'm being sincere. I didn't really factor in families and all of that. So it was when I was like making the post about dark mode on social media, and people were like, no, me too, I'll leave my house and come. I don't go out at night, but I'll leave my house and come. And I see them every day. Like, parents will come with their children every day.
Because you know that sometimes in the evening, there's sometimes, especially when you've been out, everybody has been out all day. You come back home and there's this lingering question: what are we going to eat this night? And sometimes you just don't have the energy to cook. So I totally get and understand.
So we're filling the gap for that.
Yes.
So it's amazing. It's exhausting. It's one of the reasons why I wear glasses all the time now, because if you see the bags under my eye, you can choke things inside. It's exhausting work because we're just starting out. So I need to know the processes and everything for myself. So again, when I take myself out of it and it's not going well, I can know
where the
challenge is. So I am ingrained in the processes right now, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's a beautiful experience. Again, just is super supportive. God bless the people of Plateau State.
Yes, so all of you, everyone in the Plateau. God bless you.
Them.
I love the community spirit.
See,
people can show up once they see that you're a quality person.
And let me
They
tell
show up for you.
there's this thing that people used to say that again, I want to speak Hausa. Maybe you subtitle it.
No problem.
When you couldn't just hey.
So people say that there's no. Well, is there money in Just? There's no money in Just.
Hey.
There's money. Oh.
If
you know the kind of businesses to do.
And then one thing that I strongly believe in is that Just is a good springboard for any business you want to run. Now, for my business, at the start, it was that, rather than you make shawarma for us, let's go and buy the things and make it at home. Mm-hmm. It's easier for people in Just. So that there was that mentality.
Yeah.
But I can clearly tell you now that I have families that will come and spend like 30, 40K on just their kids eating shawarma, and then they would go.
Just go.
I have families that will come to dark mode and just buy food and meat, spend 30, 40K, one person, and go. But here's the thing. Let's go back to the social media thing. They first need to see you and build that trust in you before they will come out and show and give you that support. So if there's somebody out there that is not doing these things and expects the support that Tad is getting, I'm sorry, you won't get it. Because you have to first make the effort.
Yes.
Right? So, but once you make that effort is hard though. But once you're able to do that, and once you're able to maintain that effort, if it becomes a part of you. So imagine I'm telling you that I post my business 3 times. I used to post my business 3 times a day. On average now, our target is 10 times daily.
What?
Yes. Because other businesses have started to do 3 times a day. No, we may not reach the 10 times daily. Breathe. Do the counts. Do the counts.
I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, my mind is running in many directions about you.
10 times daily is 10 times on Instagram, 10 times on Facebook. We have a Facebook profile and we have a Facebook page. So on the profile and on the page, we intend to include Twitter. We intend to include TikTok. We intend to include TikTok. We may not do 10 times a day, but that's the target. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. So it means that on the days that we don't, you will see 5 posts.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing 5 posts on our Instagram, 5 posts on the profile, and 5 posts on the page, that's 15.
Yeah.
So if you scroll just timeline, you see us like 10 posts on Facebook. If you go on Instagram, you see 5 posts at the end of the day, right? And then the way we do our posts is even in the middle of the night, so that probably as you're sleeping, you'd see our post, and then as you're waking up, you're seeing our post.
So it's now monitoring spirit too.
That's the goal for me. I want to be a monitoring spirit in the lives of my customers and target customers. That's the goal for me. So I'm telling you this now.
It's basically saying you're always top of mind.
That's the goal for me.
Always top of mind.
That's the goal for me.
That if they think about this, they can't. You've bombarded them so much, they can't think of anybody else.
Yes. Even if a conversation comes up somewhere and you want to talk about the brand and you're like, oh, the day I bought their shawarma, it was really nice. And then someone else says, oh, mine was salty. Who are you talking about?
It's still the same business.
That's the goal for me, really. But after that goal, it is that we want to give quality products and quality service, regardless. So with this mentality and how much I'm putting effort, it will take me, it takes a lot to convince people in Just to trust you. But once they do, you're good. Now, remember that I said it's a springboard. Because we've made this a culture, imagine that we go with this same energy to Lagos. Just take a moment to imagine that we go with this same energy to Lagos. Lagos people don't care. So long as they go to your page and they see that you sell this, they'll call you. Are you functional? You say yes. They'll risk it. Yeah, if you deliver, fine. If you don't deliver, they drag you.
They take more risks than the Just community has to first trust you. These guys just have to see you. They just have to see, okay, yeah, here, okay, yeah, now let's
So
start.
imagine that we go to somewhere that they just trust anybody, whether you're posting or not. They just see you, they trust you, they try you, you deliver, fine, you don't deliver, they
They
drag
drag
you.
you.
But we go there, we're posting, we're maintaining what we're doing in Jos. It's nothing extra. We're posting 5 times a day. We're posting 10 times a day. Just will bend you, just will mold you, and it's in a good way. Because once it does, you start to see results. Once it does, you start to see results. And if you take that discipline, that's bending and molding that just has conditioned you into to Abuja, to anywhere else, you thrive. You thrive. You thrive sincerely.
Wow. Okay, so finally, what would you say to other keypad warriors like yourself who still are maybe within Jos, but
Yeah.
or in other cities and have ties here and are always saying this thing should be done, that thing should be done, and all of that, just the same way you were saying? What would you say to them about the terrain here
Yeah.
and the possible opportunities that they might find?
Again, I'm tempted to speak Hausa.
Carry on.
Because the truth of the matter is that so long as you remain and you're criticizing and you have the ability to, you have what it takes to take advantage of the opportunities in Plateau State, but you're criticizing, you're just telling people, do it this way, do it that way. You don't have monopoly of ideas. And then before you know it, the things that you could have done that you didn't do, that you spent the time criticizing, you now start doing that kaseni, that kinseni. And the truth of the matter is,
Had I known.
That's how the Hausa person will say it. It's past. Had I known what? You didn't do it. Someone else had the guts to do it. So rather than be a keypad warrior, be the person that has the guts to do it. Things thrive in Plateau State. As green as the land is, that's how green the opportunities are for all of us. And the opportunities are equal. It's left for you to decide how much of it you want to fetch. I get so comfortable sometimes, and I'm able to call myself to order and tell myself, you're becoming too comfortable. You're becoming too comfortable. Like, the goal is bigger than this. So the opportunities are there. God blessed Plateau State in a way that somebody that is not a Christian would think that is in a biased way. That's how blessed the state is. The people, the resources, our soil. I know a couple that came to Plateau State and has not returned.
There are many now.
There are many.
Yeah.
Dr. Fish.
There are many. There are many.
She came and she said she wanted to start selling strawberries. She has a big business. There are too many to mention. So, first of all, as sons and daughters of the soil or like neighboring soils, there are so many opportunities here. There's so many opportunities here. As much as you want to criticize, if you know that you don't have anything that you want to do, find somebody that you would support to do what they are able to do.
Yeah.
But being on your keypad behind your phone just criticizing, it's a different reality. And that's what I realized. It's a different reality. Did I see that it's possible to grow a business in Jos, like I always used to say? Yes, I've seen it. But I've seen other things. I've seen that it's not so easy. I had to put in the work to convince the average person in Jos, right? And that when I do, they will support me with their all. So there are opportunities. And then for those who have never been to Plateau State, those who have never been to the North, sincerely, I think we have more sense to know that stereotypes should not be believed, right? Experience the states for yourself, experience the people for yourself. Because we here, there's a narrative we have of the East, there's a narrative we have of the West as well. And if we were to thrive and dwell on that, we also would not want to go there. But we are going, right? So it's now a collective effort for all of us as Nigerians to, you know what, give the best of wherever it is that we're from.
Yeah.
And then the responsibility of the government to fix whatever else
Needs
that
to be
is
fair.
going wrong, it is
Yes.
solely their responsibility.
Yes.
So we should hold the government accountable
Yeah.
together.
Drop mic.
Yes, drop mic. If not, I don't want to spoil the mic.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much
I
for
love the
having
fact
me.
that you said there are a lot of opportunities here.
Too many.
It is now important to identify, and it's not enough
Too many.
it's not enough to what's the word now, to just criticize and say this thing is supposed to be done like this is supposed to
Come and do it.
put the pedal to the metal.
Yes.
Right, put some skin in it.
Yes.
You know, it's not just about sitting by and saying, oh, do it like this. You know, begin
Come
to
and
do it. Put in the effort, and then see also how it is, because sometimes it's easy to talk from outside. When you get in, then you realize, okay, this
It's not what we
requires a
thought.
lot of work.
Yeah.
And then the respect for the people who are doing it also increases
Drastically. I'm someone that has always loved Jos. I've always loved the people. But since I moved to Jos, first of all, just people can greet. They are so nice. I grew up in Abuja. In a very mind yourself, mind your business neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You would pass in Jos. Sanu. Sanu. Like we know each other. I still find it very strange. The people that were so hospitable. And then as much as I still struggle with it in Jos, when I go to Abuja, I find myself, oh, good
Greeting
afternoon.
everybody.
Oh, hello. Oh, hi.
And
And then you're looking at me like,
who is this one? Where are you coming from?
so please, like, no.
Yeah.
No. This state's blessed beyond measure.
So that brings us to the end of this session.
Thank you for having
We
me.
can go on and on because this conversation is sweet.
No.
But then let's just
Two things I'm passionate about: Plateau State, business. We
Yeah.
can talk forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the fact that we got into discuss, you know, strategies for visibility for businesses, because it's really critical. And if you're a business person that is watching this, take the things that she has said and run with it. Don't just fold your arms and say you're waiting for the customers to come. Set up that Google profile. Set up that social media page. Set up that website. Set up whatever you need to set up to get yourself seen, and then keep showing up. You can never show up enough. Just keep showing up, and before you know what's happening, your consistency will actually bring the people that you'll be waiting for, the customers, the clients that you'll be waiting for. Consistency will bring that, but it will not happen except you show up. Thank you for joining us. Share this. If you enjoyed this session, if you thought it was really insightful, share it. Share it, and share it. Share it everywhere. You know, share it with your what's it called, your school alumni association.
Share it the way they share prayer links.
Exactly.
They should share it.
You know,
Enter their DMs.
go to WhatsApp. I want to see like the link for this video on like forwarded many times. Do you understand? Share it like that. Share it all over, right? Because together we can help ourselves build.
Yeah.
We can ensure that we're building a community around these things that is lifting one another and ensuring that we're thriving, ensuring that we're doing what we need to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Timbyen.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm really grateful for your time.
And let me share one final word,
Okay.
right? The results you seek, those results that you seek, they are hiding behind the work that you're not doing. They are tied to the work you're not doing.
With these
Drops
few
mic
words,
again.
with these few words, I'll leave you with this. Keep dreaming, keep believing. Wherever you are, just start. And I'll see you at the very next episode. All right, till then, take care.